Mbarara University of Science and Technology is the second medical school in Uganda. In May of each year, students go to rural health centers in multidisciplinary groups for a rural placement. Three cornerstones of the rural health placement are senior faculty involvement, leadership training, and the third one, a 1 week-long orientation before they go for the replacement. The former Dean Faculty of Medicine here guides students as they explore root causes of a health challenge during an orientation. The leadership development program was introduced to provide interactive leadership training, which provides a foundation for students' projects before they go for placement. Here, Professor Joel Bazira, the medical microbiology, or the head of Department of Medical Microbiology, leads students through a session. Orientation week begins the rural placement. During the week, students meet their site teams because they are divided in different rooms where they meet their team leaders, learn about challenge model of leadership, and receive grounding in primary health care. Skills and tools for working with communities are introduced during the orientation. A role play emphasizes key skills and attitudes needed for successful community engagement when they move to the community. Although not all students are excited to be off to rural areas, which are undeveloped villages, of course, at the end of the orientation, there is a marked attitudinal shift as they work together to overcome an obstacle. The transport of more than 400 students with their mattresses, beddings, equipment, and supplies to more than 50 sites in southwestern Uganda is a massive undertaking. Trucks, buses, university vehicles, and taxis are used. Initially, recruiting appropriate rural sites was not easy, but recently health centers and communities have been petitioning to be included in the future sites that we send our students. Students are assisted in adjusting to rural life, which rural life includes limited access to water, no power, poor internet, long distances to market, unreliable cell phone coverage, which are realities in these areas, especially with the circumstances which make them hard to reach areas. Participating even for a limited period in hard realities of rural poverty brings some students the importance of putting their education to good use to address disparities to which they are witnesses, especially when they have completed their education and are working. But it is not all work and no play. Groups near the impenetrable forest witness sights they have never seen before, such as these men sawing massive tree trunks with a precision rarely matched by automated machinery to make timber. At the health centers, students spend half of their time doing clinical work. In Chivito, which is a site near Fort Portal town in Kabarole district, while medical students look on, the biomedical laboratory student takes blood from a patient, and the pharmacy student dispenses medication at the window. Learning to work together as multidisciplinary teams is crucial for health professions. Mass graduates not only practice these valuable skills, but come to appreciate their importance when they have completed their education. The half of students' time is spent on community activities. At the beginning of their stay, students interact with communities to identify a health issue of community interest. Then they do a project which includes health education, and at the end of their stay, they make up a report of their findings. Students' projects have uncovered hidden issues. A significant number of pesticide poisoning were noted in an outpatient data on one of the sites where students were placed. Students met with the local cattle keepers who could not read the warnings on the pesticides they were using for weekly cattle spraying, and none were using protective wear. Health education and presentation and locally made protective clothes were prepared and demonstrated to the community members, and later on adopted by the community members. Students are provided with skills using tools that require minimum literacy so that they can be used in the community. Here, students discuss a picture showing dependence and how it might apply with their supervisor. Some sites where students are placed have no beds, no mattresses. Have no beds. So mattresses are placed on the floor where students sleep, eat, and work from. At the end of the rural placement, students present their projects and reflect on their experiences. As one student commented, "When I first arrived at the site, I thought I was in a black hole. We had no power, water had to be carried from afar, the market was distant, and we were sleeping on the floor. But by the time I left, I appreciated how people coped with these difficulties and how resilient they were, and I wanted to return to this area and help them in my career." The success of rural placement has resulted in international students coming to Mbarara to participate. To address this, a cross-cultural workshop has been developed and introduced. Students from Harvard, here in the picture, students from Harvard, Saskatchewan, and Somalia engage here with Ugandan students in this cross-cultural workshop. For the future, knowing the engaged communities with the community-based health workers not only provide a better learning experience for our students, but are more likely to achieve sustainable changes. We have begun building their capacity through community workshops, which are participatory. Perhaps the most inspiring aspect of the program is the way isolated communities have warmed to the commitment and enthusiasm of visiting students. Here, members of the Batwa community from near the Congo border proudly show the students a basket they have made to transport patients over mountain paths. Most students return from their posting or from their sites with renewed appreciation of the resilience of rural people, and many with a commitment to return and work with such communities. Some students work with their supervisors to come up with poster presentations for conferences.